Hello and welcome to the next part of BWV 998, The Fugue by Johann Sebastian Bach. We are now covering the final part to the massive fugal entry of this piece. There is a lot here and there's some really funky and fun fingerings as well. So let's just dive straight in. BWV 998, The Fugue by j.s.bach. Welcome back to bar 20. We're going to reverse one beat, the previous bar, because it's the same idea and the ideas flow together. Open A, 4, 1, fret 5, fret 2 respectively. You're going to stretch your third finger up for that G. Wonderful clash, and then resolve. First finger slides up. Now, from this point, we are going to do fourth finger on G, half bar, G again, Bach releases it. So this is the first time that we get 4 G's in a row, bar 20. Super important, there's a reason for that. Bach is now trying to head home. Okay, so bar 21, this is the beginning of some rather intricate left hand work, so bear with me. 3 and 2, F sharp and D, half bar 2. Notice we now have a bass on quavers. You're then going to go into full bar 2, fourth finger on an A, hold that A down, third finger stretches up for the C sharp. Now my suggestion for this next half of the bar is hinge bar into the B and D, then hinge bar again for the G and C natural. And if I do it so slowly, you can actually hear the lovely into the F there. It's a fantastic bit of music, it's a fantastic build-up, and it's the first time that we suddenly get this bass line moving. So the bass line is and into the C natural. It's a lovely little bass line, lovely moment. Bach is signaling this. So the last little bit of information that you need here, just going into bar 22, it is super important. Once you've done this hinge bar here, and you've got your G, that second finger gets pre-prepared behind the G, just prior to bar 22, so that you can just move 2 fingers only into 22. Right, we're going to leave it there for that micro study, and we'll come back to 22. Let's check this out in slow motion. Welcome to bar 22. We're back in. So we left it off here. Second finger at 4, fourth finger at 5, first finger bar all the way across. Now you are going to have to stretch up for the C at 5, and then that C is going to guide us into the next chord. If you notice in there, I've got open strings so my B can ring out, 7th fret, 5th fret, 1st and 3rd respectively. Then you're going to go over the top of your third finger for that A, and then it is open strings. Now, into this next bit, second finger is going to float down from the C natural to the B, A and F, 2, 3, 4, hold those on, take the 2 off, expose the A, and then your fourth finger is just going to slide up to the G at 3. And I tend to use my second finger here on the E to an open string. From this point, as you can see, my third finger is starting to move there a little bit. I am going to go into a full bar at 2. We're back to C sharp and E in that configuration. Second finger is down on the G natural at 3. And then I drop down, exposing my open D, my A and my F. I have cut the F sharp out of that chord we have an F sharp in the melody. It is acceptable. I then stretch up to 7. I then slide down with that stretched fourth finger to 5 and first finger on an E, open G. And then I come into a half bar situation again at 2. I'm going to leave it there. We're only going to do 2 at a time because these are really complex bars. Main thing is get those guide fingers. 2, 4, 4. Guide fingers, super important. Let's check this out in slow motion. Welcome to a bar 24. Right, so we left it off here with the C and G sharp, half bar 2. I use my third finger here. You can use your fourth on that F sharp, but again, that's your call. And then I just lift my second finger up to get to the D. Use my fourth finger for the E. And then I'm into a half bar situation again with a low D, half bar. 1, 3, second finger pointing up, Clapton style, so that you can get into the E bass. So 2, 3, 4. First finger getting down, prepared for that C natural that I know is coming up. Now, this next bit, fourth finger slides up as it does, third finger comes in, and you have to stretch back for that C there. This is a tough thing. You can already see my fingers at full stretch. There is an alternative to this where it is 2, 4, and then your third finger here at 5. But then your fourth finger is going to come, then your fourth finger has to flip up and over, and it is 4, 3 with a 2 exposure there in the middle here. So that is that option 1. My option is stretching out, sliding up with 1 and 3. Fourth finger on the 5th fret this time, and then exposing 2 that time. So the choice is yours. Okay, moving on to E and G. Fourth fingers on the octaves E and G. And then I suggest just going straight into a half bar, all fingers down, third finger on. Second finger comes up to expose the D and F. And then right on the end of bar 25, I move into the simple option. G sharp and open B, 2, 3 and 2 for the D and F, and then my first finger is just going to slide up and join them, and then into a second finger on the C sharp. Nice and slowly. Now there's a reason for that, because literally at this point you're going to have to zip up into the next bar, and it is going to need to be 2 at 7, 1 at 5. And then this fourth finger is going to have to hit that B, and then your second finger is going to slide up, and E and G. There is no other way of doing this. All right, so it's a tough old move. And then your second finger is going to have to bounce down. It doesn't have to. My fingering, second finger goes down, and then open D into 2 and 3. D and F, so that my first finger is free for the low E. And I'm just going to stop there. I know it's halfway across the bar because we're now moving right into the end, and I want to leave that, so I'll come back to those. The alternative at bar 26 is from this point, once you've done this, so remember you have to guide up. Second finger up, fourth finger stretches out to that B at fret 9. And then it is 3, 4, 2, or 3, 4, 1 into 2 and 3. The choice is yours. There are loads of choices. Please, please, please examine my fingering, interrogate it, choose your own. This works for me because of my hands and the way I play. It might not work for you. Anyway, we're going to leave it there and let's check this out in slow motion. Hi, quick interruption here. I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. There is a ton of content just like this coming your way, not the least of which is the fantastic, huge middle section to this fugue. Right, let's dive straight back into the final few bars of the fugue by Bach. Okay, welcome to the end of this massive fugal entry for BWV 998. So I say the end because after this point we move into an Italianate, a series of 16th running notes, which you can check out as I'm talking, and it is just a couple of pages of these 16th notes with basses moving around them. It's a fantastic, juicy middle section, and it's going to challenge you in a different way to the fugue. So I'm going to pick it back up at bar 27, where we left it off just before. 1 and 4. 2 and 3, first finger up, E in the bass, open G, second finger. Now I suggest that it is a full pivot into your second finger, but you could alternatively play that as an open string, where your first finger bounces down off the E note. The choice is yours. Alright, the ending. Here is my fingering, and then I will give you the optional fingering. So from this point you hear, first finger slides up to the G at 5, open B, open E, 3, 4, 7 and 8, and then I use 2 and 3 on the E and D, first finger off, open B, slide down into the A, and then you're into this next chord. That is my fingering for those two beats. But alternatively, it is possible to do as a half bar at the second position. I don't particularly like that feel to my hands, and I prefer this one because I can get the strings to over-ring. The choice is yours. Make that choice for yourself. Rightio, here we go, the ending chords for this fantastic fugue. I am cutting out that 4th string D, you don't need it. You have a D under your second finger. So that is chord 1. We then move to chord 4, 3rd finger up, first finger up onto 3 and 5. Open B, we then move into 5 over the A bass, very, very classic Baroque, which then resolves to a 5 chord fully, 5-7 chord, and then your second finger moves up to the D. And then that is that opening fugal entry complete before we get into that fantastic Italianate running idea. So from this point of view, just keep in mind the fingers. 3 up, 2 down, 2 up. Making sure those chords get as much breathing space as possible. Super, super important. Right, let's check this all out in slow motion. Thank you very much for staying until the end. This has been brought to you by classicalguitarrocks.com, my baby. It is the home of 6-string inspiration, and it is the reason why this channel exists, so that I can get all of these ideas out and share them with yourselves. If you want some more, head over to classicalguitarrocks.com and grab yourself a slice of 6-string inspiration today.